You know that feeling, right? That nagging sense of being stuck, just looking at your life and wishing things were, I don't know, different.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it's a stubborn habit you want to break, or a new skill you're really itching to master, or even just like how you talk to people close to you.
Yeah, good kind of.
And in those moments, this big question just kind of hangs there.
Mm-hmm.
Is real, like fundamental personal change actually possible?
It's a question that hits home for so many of us, I think, because we often feel sort of confined, don't we, by our circumstances, maybe past choices, or even just beliefs we hold about ourselves.
Right.
But the really profound insight we're going to dig into today is that the answer seems to be a pretty resounding yes.
Absolutely.
Hmm.
And for this deep dive, we've really immersed ourselves in a pretty unique resource. The book You Can Change by Khant, who also goes by Verse.
Hmm.
And this isn't your typical, self-help guide with just minor tweaks. It offers a surprisingly fresh take on how to genuinely transform your life, your whole mindset, even your interactions with the world.
Right.
So our mission for you today is basically to pull out the most practical insights, maybe some surprising facts too, from this book and make them, accessible.
And right from the start, this deep dive challenges a really common assumption. Because, what if the biggest obstacle to change isn't all that external stuff?
Yeah, like the economy, your job.
Exactly, or what other people think, but something internal, a mindset that we actually have the power to shift.
Okay, let's unpack that because the book kicks off with this brilliant, simple metaphor that really sticks with you. Don't live like a tree.
It's so vivid, isn't it?
Totally. Think about it.
Mm.
A tree is rooted, right?
Yeah.
It's fixed in one spot, completely dependent on its immediate surroundings. It can't just like uproot itself and move if it doesn't like the soil or the weather.
Precisely. And the core of this philosophy is that unlike trees, we humans have this incredible sort of innate ability to move, to adapt, and to fundamentally change ourselves and our surroundings. It's not just a nice idea, it's a powerful call to action. It really highlights our amazing human agency. We aren't just passively growing, we can actually direct our own growth.
And it really hammers home the cost of inaction, which we often overlook.
Yeah.
The book points out that so much of our regret often comes not from doing the wrong thing necessarily, but from the absence of change. We look back and think, oh, what if I had just moved?
What if I'd taken that chance?
Exactly. What if I'd taken that step? It makes you think about how past decisions not to change might be shaping your future right now.
Definitely.
So the first absolute critical step the book emphasizes is simply choosing to change.
No.
That decision itself, that's the starting gun.
And what's fascinating right away is how the book clarifies that change isn't some single event you just check off a list, like buying a new sofa or something.
Right, right.
No, it's presented as a continuous, evolving process. Think of it more like a journey, not a destination. You just arrive at once and then you're finished.
Right. And crucially, it's not a one-size-fits-all map either. The source makes it clear there isn't one perfect process for change. It's more about finding your own unique way.
Yeah, like an artist honing their craft over time, maybe. Experimenting, refining their technique.
Exactly. No two artists paint exactly alike, and no two people change exactly alike.
And that analogy, the one about mastering a skill, that's so key here. True change, the book argues, needs consistent effort. Persistence.
You don't just pick up a guitar once and become a rock star.
Exactly. You practice daily, you build on what you learned yesterday, and the book actually highlights the word change itself, really underlining its active, ongoing nature. It's something you do constantly, not just something that happens to you.
Okay, so if change is this ongoing process, how do we actually do it? The book lays out some really clear pillars for personal transformation. Let's start with cultivating a positive mindset and managing emotions. The source really emphasizes the critical need to actively overcome those negative thoughts and fears that can hold us back. It even brings up the movie The Pursuit of Happiness.
Oh, yeah. Great example.
As this powerful picture of resilience.
Yeah.
Just that sheer willpower to keep moving forward even when things look totally overwhelming.
And a crucial piece of advice here, which might sound simple but is profoundly difficult for a lot of us, is to avoid the blame game.
Yeah. pointing fingers.
Right. Instead of blaming others or external circumstances, the book really pushes focusing on your internal locus of control. What that means, practically, is recognizing that even if you can't control everything that happens to you, you always control your reaction, your effort, your next step.
That's where the power is.
That's where your power truly lies,
It
yes.
also dives pretty deep into emotional control, which is huge.
Yeah.
We often hear those societal pressures like the old saying, big boys don't cry.
Right, stifle it down.
Yeah, implying emotions should just be suppressed. But this book is firm on the importance of consciously controlling emotions like anger and stress. It even connects this to, well, very serious outcomes, pointing out how managing your emotional state can be vital for your overall well-being, even preventing extreme negative results like suicide. It's about channeling, not just shutting down.
And that ties directly into positive self-talk, doesn't it? Your inner dialogue, how you speak to yourself inside your head, that directly impacts your ability to actually change and get results.
Totally.
If that internal voice is constantly putting you down, telling you can't do it or you're not good enough, well, it's incredibly hard to take the actions you need for transformation. The book is clear.
Yeah.
Your thoughts are basically the blueprint for your actions.
Okay, moving on to another pillar, skill development and continuous growth. The book guides you on, like identifying areas where you might need new skills,
Right.
being intentional about it.
Right, not just random.
And here's where it gets really interesting. It uses this phrase, try new things, try a lot of things. This isn't just a throwaway line. It's presented as a core principle. It stresses the value of continuous learning, applying new knowledge daily, and pursuing diverse skills. The book suggests everything from, business skills to becoming what it calls a royal artist.
Which sounds intriguing, like mastering a craft with real dedication.
Yeah, that seems to be the implication. Or even practical tools like Photoshop, or more abstract things like learning how to truly relax and find balance.
Yeah.
The point is, diversify your personal toolkit.
And it all circles back to that 100% effort rule. The source emphasizes that for skill development to be truly effective, it demands consistent practice and giving your absolute best.
Not just dabbling.
Exactly. It's not about just trying things casually, but trying them with full commitment even, and maybe especially when it feels uncomfortable. That's how you actually achieve mastery.
Now let's shift gears a bit to relationships and community, nurturing those connections. The book talks about achieving balance in your relationships and uses the example of Messi to illustrate this.
Messi, the footballer. How does that work?
Well, the idea seems to be that, much like a brilliant player knows when to shine individually, but also when to pass, when to support the team, you need to find a similar harmony in your different relationships, knowing when to lead, when to support, when to just be present.
Ah, okay. Finding that balance makes sense. And what's also highlighted is the idea of relationships where people actually grow together.
Yeah, mutual growth.
Right. Being a supportive partner, actively avoiding selfishness, which the book explicitly warns against as a barrier to healthy connections. It's about building a community around you that genuinely lifts everyone up.
And it also touches on the simple but really profound importance of trust in friendships. It uses this analogy of being careful who you share your notes with.
Like in school.
Yeah, exactly. A reminder to be discerning, to value those genuine connections where people truly have your back, much like you wouldn't just hand over your vital study notes to just anyone.
Good analogy. Okay, now, here's where it gets really interesting, I think, for a lot of people. Navigating the modern world of social media and self-promotion.
Definitely relevant.
The book really acknowledges the dual nature of social media. It sees it as a potentially powerful tool, not just for personal branding and business, which we hear a lot about, but surprisingly, even for fostering happiness if you use it correctly.
Interesting. How so?
Well, it focuses on the idea of content creation and attention. The book emphasizes creating high-quality stuff, posts, videos, vlogs, because in the digital space, getting attention is framed as crucial for building any kind of presence.
Like a modern currency.
Kind of, yeah. It's treated that way. But then it immediately dives into the pitfalls, strongly advocating for something called digital minimalism.
Okay, what does that entail? More than just less screen time.
Oh, yeah, much more. It means actively unfollowing, muting, ignoring negative energy online, strategically managing privacy settings like the My Day feature to really curate your digital environment.
So intentional engagement, not just passive scrolling.
Exactly. And if you do encounter, blame or haters on social media, the advice isn't to jump in and argue.
Which is tempting.
Totally tempting. But the advice is just to observe them. Don't give them your energy. There's also that that blunt but maybe necessary reminder that sometimes people overshare or seek way too much validation online. The book sort of implies the nobody cares perspective can be a useful check on our digital ego sometimes.
A bit harsh, but maybe true sometimes.
And crucially, the book hammers home the vital point about balancing all the social media use with real-life connections. Your family, your relationships, your friendships.
Yeah, the offline world.
It's a clear reminder that life is a choice in how we engage with it, both online and offline. The digital world is a tool. It shouldn't replace genuine human connection.
And finally, on the promotion side, it does highlight the positive aspect of self-promotion for your own growth and projects. The author even uses their own book, You Can Change, as an example of effectively promoting something you've created,
Right.
showing that sharing your work isn't just vanity, it's often a necessary step for making an impact and actually growing.
Okay, so with all those foundational ideas laid out, let's get into the really actionable stuff, those insights for daily progress. First one, stepping out of your comfort zone.
The scary bit.
Yeah, often. The book uses this really vivid analogy, comparing it to a hot pot.
A hot pot, like the food.
Exactly. Imagine stepping into a literal hot pot. It's going to be uncomfortable, right? Maybe even painful at first, but it's part of the process, the cooking, the transformation. It's about embracing that initial discomfort, knowing it's actually essential for growth, like a muscle burning during a really good workout.
Okay, I get that. It's about decisive action too, isn't it? Not waiting around. The book has this direct quote that really hits hard. Wake up and change for 2024.
Yeah, very direct.
It emphasizes that need for immediate proactive steps. Don't wait for January 1st of next year. Start now, whatever the year.
Another really key principle is attention speed.
Attention over speed. What does
Yeah.
that mean exactly?
It means focusing on the quality and the effectiveness of what you're doing is way more important than just doing things quickly. Rushing can lead to mistakes, right? Superficial effort, missed opportunities for real impact.
Yeah, busy versus productive.
Exactly that. And it connects this directly to finding your passion and keeping a clear direction. When you know where you're headed and what you genuinely care about, you naturally invest more attention, more focus, and you avoid just blindly rushing into things that don't actually serve your purpose.
Makes sense. And then there's the move on principle. This one feels important.
Hugely important. The source really stresses not dwelling on past mistakes or failures. Instead of constantly looking in the rearview mirror, getting stuck there, you need to focus on the present and the future. That's what allows continuous change.
Holding on to past regrets just anchors you down.
Precisely. It keeps you stuck.
The book also introduces this concept of living a smart life. What's that about? Is it just work-life balance?
It seems to be more holistic than just that. It's about balancing your professional stuff, yes, but also intentionally incorporating personal enjoyment and enrichment. It even gives examples like allowing for club and night out.
Totally. Okay.
Yeah, the idea being that leisure and fun aren't just distractions, they're essential parts of a well-rounded, effective, and sustainable life.
Interesting.
It also encourages you to develop your own personal do's and don'ts for effective living, like creating your own operating manual.
A framework.
Yeah, a framework that guides your choices. And there's this surprising but kind of cool idea of applying a fashion mindset to personal growth.
Fashion. How does that apply?
Well, the idea seems to be making conscious choices about how you present and develop yourself, much like you'd consciously curate an outfit. Each element serves a purpose, contributing to your overall presence, your direction, intentional self-creation, maybe.
Okay, I can see that. And finally, the book talks about cultivating what it calls the meaning lifestyle.
Right. This isn't just about existing day to day or accumulating things. It's about actively finding and creating meaning in your life. How? Through sharing experiences, creating and sharing memories, transitioning from just living to truly experiencing life and contributing to something that feels rich and purposeful, building a legacy of moments, not just stuff.
Wow. Okay, so let's try and wrap this up. What does this all really mean for you listening right now? This deep dive into You Can Change by Khant, it really lays out a pretty comprehensive path for personal evolution, doesn't it?
It really does. We've seen that change is absolutely possible. It's not a one-off event, but this ongoing process. And we've identified those key areas to focus on: that positive, resilient mindset, developing new and diverse skills, nurturing balanced, supportive relationships, and importantly, navigating social media intelligently.
And maybe most importantly, it all seems to boil down to the power of actionable habits, making conscious choices every single day. So if, as the book really insists, life is a choice and you genuinely have the power to change, here's the final thought for you. What single habit, big or small, will you choose to start or maybe stop today to begin your own unique process of transformation?